You know, life doesn't change in a moment, but the direction of your life can. In just one quiet decision made when no one's watching you begin a new path. Not by climbing mountains in a day, but by choosing to take one deliberate step forward, just one. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or time or opportunity. They fail because they never learned the quiet magic of daily improvement. They wait for lightning bolts when in truth, it's the steady drip of water that shapes the stone. Let me tell you something timeless. If you can improve yourself by just 1% every day, you will become a person so far from who you used to be, even you won't recognize the old version. That's not just progress. That's transformation. That's power. And it begins right now. You see, the secret isn't in doing something extraordinary once it's in doing something ordinary with discipline every day. That's where the magic begins. When people ask me, how do I build wealth? How do I become the person I want to be? I tell them, don't underestimate the power of small disciplines, because the same wind blows on us all. What matters is the set of your sail and the daily choices that adjust that sail just 1 degree at a time. I remember when I first got serious about changing my life. I wasn't trying to change everything in one day. I didn't have the strength for that, but I could change something. I could write down my goals every morning. I could make 1 extra sales call. I could skip that television program and use the hour to learn. And I found something remarkable, that the more I honored these small disciplines, the more they began to shape me. Day by day, they turned into habits. Habits into results. And results into a whole new life. Now, let me tell you what most people do. They wait. They wait for motivation, for a miracle, for a better season. And because they wait, they miss the daily opportunity to improve by just a fraction. And that's a tragedy. Because the man who improves by just 1% every day doesn't end the year with 365% improvement. He becomes 37 times better. That's the compounding effect of discipline. And that's no theory, I've lived it. The man who gets rich isn't always the one with the best idea. Sometimes he's just the one who opened his shop early, stayed open late, and kept his promises every day. No drama. No applause, just discipline, just showing up, stacking bricks while the others sleep, one on top of the other, until the wall is too high to ignore. The truth is, greatness isn't built in a moment. It's built in a morning routine, in a decision to keep going, in doing what needs to be done, even when the feeling is gone. Because that's what separates the successful from the spectators. That's what makes you unstoppable. You know, a funny thing about motivation, it's like a breeze. Nice when it's there, but you can't depend on it to blow your way every morning. Some days you wake up inspired, fired up, ready to take on the world. But other days, the wind is still. And if you're waiting on that breeze to move, you'll stay stuck right where you are. That's why I learned early on. Success doesn't belong to the most motivated. It belongs to the most structured. You must build systems so solid that even when your feelings are weak, your habits are strong. Because a system doesn't care how you feel, it just runs. I didn't always feel like picking up a book, but I had a system. 30 minutes a day, every day. No questions asked. I didn't always feel like making that call, writing that letter, or planning my week. But the system said, do it anyway. And so I did. Not because I felt like it, because I was committed. Motivation is a visitor. Systems are tenants. They live with you. They show up when you don't feel like it. They keep the wheels turning while others wait for inspiration. The wealthy, the healthy, the wise They don't rise to the occasion, they rise to the level of their systems. I remember a young man asking me, how do I stay consistent with exercise? I said, put your shoes by the bed the night before. Lay out your clothes. Remove the decisions. The fewer choices you leave to chance, the more consistent you become. And consistency is the cornerstone of improvement. The Roman philosopher Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. But I'd add, systems are what allow you to stay prepared. They don't rely on the stars aligning. They rely on you showing up, day after day. Let's keep building brick by brick and move naturally into the next truth. Progress is always better than perfection, delivered with the same voice, the same soul. You know, one of the great traps that keeps people stuck is this. They believe if they can't do it perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. Now that sounds noble, but it's poison dressed as principle. Perfection is a heavy coat most people wear until they sweat out their ambition. I'd rather see a man make slow progress with imperfect steps than wait around forever for the perfect moment that never comes. When I started changing my life, I wasn't perfect, not even close. I missed days, I stumbled, I forgot, I failed, but I kept going. I didn't aim for perfect. I aimed for better. 1 inch forward, one idea stronger, one mistake wiser. That's how you grow. See, the beauty of 1% improvement is it gives you permission to be human. You don't need to conquer everything today, you just need to beat who you were yesterday. I once knew a gentleman who wanted to read more, but he told me, Jim, if I don't have a full hour, I don't even bother. I said, friend, you're missing the point. A single paragraph read with intention is better than an unread library waiting on perfect conditions. You don't need a full hour to learn. You need a system, a spark, a start. The Greeks had a word for it, arete. Not perfection, but excellence in motion. Excellence isn't flawless, it's faithful. It's being willing to look foolish, to start messy, to try again and again until your effort outgrows your excuses. That's what 1% better really means. It means dropping the illusion of perfection and embracing the truth of progress. The man who waits to get it perfect will always be outpaced by the man who starts with what he has. Because progress, no matter how small, always outruns perfection that never begins. Let's carry this message forward. Steady, deliberate, and arrive at the next principle. Track the wins, even the tiny ones. Continuing in the spirit of discipline, improvement, and the voice of experience. Now, here's something I discovered on my journey. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. If you're climbing a mountain and you never look back to see how far you've come, it starts to feel like you're getting nowhere. And that's dangerous because the human spirit needs evidence. It needs to see that effort is paying off even just a little. That's why I always tell people, track your wins, especially the small ones. They matter more than you think. When I was building my business, I kept a simple notebook. Nothing fancy. But every day, I wrote down what I did right. 1 extra call. 1 client followed up. 1 new insight from a book. Those didn't seem like much on their own, but stacked together, they painted a picture of momentum. And momentum, well, that's the fuel of progress. Without it, you stall. With it, you soar. People say, I'll celebrate when I hit the big goal. No, you celebrate every step. You acknowledge the day you resisted the distraction, the day you woke up on time, the day you chose growth instead of comfort. You don't need a parade, just a quiet moment of recognition. That's how you train the mind to keep going. It's a strange thing. If you don't track your improvement, the mind will lie to you. It'll say, you're not doing enough. You're not getting anywhere. But when you see it in writing, when you see the days marked, the tasks checked off, the work done, you realize something powerful. You are becoming better, slowly, steadily, surely. Michelangelo said, trifles make perfection, and perfection is no trifle. So don't ignore the trifles. Record the little wins. Let them speak for you when doubt tries to whisper. Because a win, no matter how small, is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. And one brick a day, that's how you build a life. Let's continue the journey quietly but firmly into the next truth that so many overlook. Environment is more powerful than willpower. The wisdom here is subtle but life-changing. And I'll share it just as I lived it. People often say to me, I just need more willpower. And I tell them, that's admirable, but not reliable. Willpower is like a battery. It drains. It gets tired. It has limits. But your environment, that's a machine. It runs in the background, silently shaping your behavior, whether you're paying attention or not. The truth is, you rise or fall to the level of the environment you allow. When I was broke, I looked around and realized something my surroundings were agreeing with my excuses. My bookshelf was empty. My television was always on. My friends, good people, but no ambition. That environment didn't support my dreams, it supported my comfort. So, I changed it. I filled my room with books that stretched my thinking. I replaced noise with quiet. So here we are, at the end, but truly, just at the beginning. Because now you know the truth. You don't need a revolution to change your life. You just need a quiet decision made in the stillness of an ordinary day to be just a little better than you were yesterday. That's it. 1%. That's your edge. That's your advantage. And if you honor it daily, deliberately, without fanfare, it will take you further than talent, luck, or motivation ever could. You see, the journey to a better life isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's consistent. And it belongs to the one who shows up when it's easy, and especially when it's not. The man who keeps showing up, who keeps learning, who keeps moving forward, he becomes unstoppable. Not overnight, but surely. So ask yourself right now, not what can I change in a year, but what can I do today to be 1% better, one decision, one action, one step, and once you take it, take another. That's how it's done. Now go build the life you were meant to live, 1% at a time. The future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Step into it. Starting today,